What is going on, Kyle? We are back for another fight night this week. We got Jose Aldo going up against Rob Font. And what is the UFC Vegas number? I lost track since we were off last week. Is it 43?
44.
44, okay. See, the last one I don't even think counted.
Right.
It was so bad.
And it feels like we've been off a long time.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
And I think last week with no fights was better than the card 2 weeks ago. Just nothing.
Yeah.
I'd rather have nothing than that fucking horseshit card.
We had the triangle cage Triller fights.
That was trash.
Oh my! I didn't even watch it. Frank Mir got knocked out standing up.
I did see highlights of Frank Mir just staggering around, and Dan Murgliata was about to let him keep getting killed until the other fighter just quit. He was like, dude, Dan, are you going to make me fucking kill this guy? What has Frank done to you, Dan?
Right. And then Mike Perry won.
Yep.
Mike Perry won his fight.
Excellent.
Yep.
And this is actually a very good card this week. Just looking at some of the fights, a lot of big names on here, a lot of great matchups too. And the first fight on the card looks like right now ESPN has it at 15 fights on there. And unfortunately, this thing does start at 7 p.m. So I'm going to fall asleep before Jose Aldo fights, I'll tell you right now. But the first fight on the card is Luis Smolka, minus 150, going up against Vince Morales. And on DraftKings, Smolka is 8,500 and Morales is 7,700. What are you thinking here, Kyle?
I think this is an early dog spot. First fight.
All right.
First dog.
All right. I was leaning Morales, and you pushed me over the edge. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, Morales hasn't had the most successful UFC career, but he's fought really tough competition. He's 2-3 in the UFC, but he's lost to Song Yadong, Benito Lopez, and Chris Gutierrez.
Yeah.
He won his last fight against Draco Rodriguez, and he's looking to get on a little streak here. He hits hard. He trains with Ricky Simone, who we all know is a grinding wrestler. Vince Morales is more of a striker, but he does have that wrestling in his back pocket. He was a state champion wrestler back in the day himself. Mm-hmm. So he does have that in the back pocket, but he prefers to counter-strike. He hits really hard.
He is very hard.
Yeah. And he's going against Luis Smolka, who is a grappler that can't wrestle and relies on toughness to get him through fights.
Right.
Now, Luis Smolka has been around for a long time and fought with some really good guys, but every time he takes a little step up, he loses.
Right.
On the mat, he's really slick. Like, if this were to go to the ground, I'd be a little bit scared for Morales just because how good Smolka seems to be on the ground. But he has no power whatsoever. Morales doesn't have to worry about power. In 10 UFC fights, Smolka has 1 knockdown.
Ew.
Yeah. So Morales is going to have the better strikes. He's going to be the harder striker. And I think that lends him a decision. Smolka's pretty tough. I think it goes to decision.
I like it a lot. Moving on, we've got a huge favorite in Alex Morono going up against Mickey Gall. Alex Morono is minus 230. Mickey Gall plus 190. On DraftKings, Mickey Gall is 6,700, and Morono is one of the more expensive guys, coming in at 9,500. I think Mickey Gall gets his shit crushed. I think he gets fucking destroyed.
Yeah, I think this is the end of Mickey Gall in the UFC.
Yeah.
He was brought in to fight CM Punk, if people don't remember. That's why Mickey Gall's in the UFC. Yep. He was, I believe, 1-0 at the time, and they wanted someone with no experience so that they would be able to sanction the CM Punk fight. So that's why Mickey Gall had a contract. Since then, he now trains with Matt Brown over at his gym, but there's really no one else there besides Matt Brown. He's a submission fighter. He does have pretty good submissions. He's pretty long. But a guy like Morono, who's just such a dog, and brings a fucking scrap, Mickey Gall's getting finished here.
Yeah, Morono is an absolute fucking pit bull.
Oh, yeah. A Pitbull has a huge striking advantage. I think he has the wrestling advantage. Gall's only chance is to catch him in a crazy sub, and I just don't see that happening.
Right. Agreed.
You know what might happen, though? Mickey Gall is going to get train wrecked by Alex Morono, and it's going to look like Mickey Gall has Morono in a guillotine, but it's going to be nothing. But the announcers are going to go, oh, guillotine! And it's just going to be nothing. Morono's going to pop his head out and finish Mickey Gall in 2 seconds.
Yep. Agreed.
That's the analysis there.
All right, moving on. We have a late change here. Jared Vanderaa is in over who's fighting Felipe Lins. Was supposed to be in there. He's out. He's going up against Azamat Murzakanov. And this fight, it was originally going to be at light heavy. Now they are fighting at heavyweight. And this is a hilarious fight. They don't have prices on DraftKings yet. But what do you think here? Because you tell me what you were thinking first, and I'll tell you what I was thinking after.
All right. Vanderaa's huge.
Yes.
He's going to be way bigger than Azamat. But Azamat did fight as a heavyweight in the Contender Series, and it didn't hurt him. He's 10-0 with 7 by TKO and 1 by sub. I think he finishes Vanderaa here. I really do.
Yeah, and so when this first came out that Vanderaa was stepping in here, I was leaning. I wanted to take Vanderaa real bad, and then I went back and watched his last fight where he got the absolute shit kicked out of him against Romanov. Yeah, I was like, oh, and that was like 2 months ago. Yeah, and so I was like, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be ready. I don't think he's going to be recovered from the. I mean, it's literally less than. No, it's going to be almost exactly 2 months ago. October 9th was his last fight. He did look pretty good against Tafa.
He did, and he throws a lot of strikes for a heavyweight.
And he's got a pretty good chin. Like, he ate some absolute bombs from Tafa. Yeah.
The thing about this fight, though, is Azamat, the only disadvantage he has is that he's small.
Yeah.
He's going to be faster. He hits way harder. He's a better wrestler. And Azamat kind of reminds me of Fedor.
Yeah.
The way he explodes into things. Everything he does is with explosion, just like Fedor is. And I think the speed is going to be really the difference, and he's going to catch Jared Vanderaa with a huge shot, probably knock him out.
I think you're probably right. I think 2 months is way too soon to come back after getting your life almost ended.
After a beatdown?
After a beatdown that bad. It's one thing if you're Lupita and you want to fight every week, but you're fighting, 115-pound women and you're mostly grappling. But this, getting the life beaten out of you by Alexander Romanov is something that is probably going to take more than 2 months to come back from. So, yeah, I think he gets finished here.
I agree with you.
Like that looked like a career-altering beatdown. Like, some guys get knocked out and they're just like not the same again. Yeah. It's like he's like when he's drooling in his fucking chocolate pudding when he's 55 years old. I'm like, oh. Still lingering effects of Romanov.
Shit.
All right. Next fight is, I think, maybe the trap of the night in Claudio Puelles against Chris Gruetzemacher. Right now it's a pick'em. Chris Gruetzemacher was a slight favorite earlier in the week. And right now, it's looking pretty close on DraftKings. Gruetzemacher is 8,200. Puelles is 8,000. I think they're begging you to take Puelles here.
They are, and everything I'm seeing is people taking Puelles. This is a really close fight. After watching tape, this is just razor close.
Yeah.
But Chris Gruetzemacher has been around forever. He's fought really good comp. Always in the gym, always training with high-level competition. And his last fight against Rafa Garcia, he looked great.
He did.
Rafa kind of had him hurt early and gas out, and Grutzmacher took over. He looked excellent. And then we have Puelles, who's basically good at everything. He's a pretty good prospect. He's got wrestling. He's got striking. I mean, the kid is good. But I think you're right. This is a little bit of a trap. We have a line movement going towards Puelles. Everybody's betting him. I think Grutzmacher just might be that grinder.
Yeah.
I think
he sneaks out a decision here and wrecks everyone's night.
I totally see it. I think that's a great call.
Yep. Probably gets a split decision, loses the first round, grinds out the second two. Everyone rips up their tickets and throws their phone in the toilet.
Everyone complains that it's a bad decision afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, it might just be a stay away, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a hard fight.
Yeah, again, initially when I saw the line out and Grutzmacher was minus like 130, I was like, oh, they're telling you what to do here. They want you to take Puelles, so you got to hammer Grutzmacher. But yeah, like you said, going back, watching more tape on Puelles, he's really fucking good.
He is.
Again, I think this might, like you said, might be a stay away or smaller play on Grutzmacher. Definitely don't want to be taking Puelles straight up.
Yeah, I agree.
And moving on, we've got Connecticut's finest, William Knight. A slight dog against Alonzo Menifield. Menifield is minus 155. Old Slick Willie Knight is plus 130. There it is, plus 130. And then on DraftKings, more of a disparity in pricing. Menifield is 8,700 and William Knight is 7,500.
Yeah, and this is another tough one. It's basically the same guy.
Yeah, carbon
fighting
copies.
Each other. Yeah. Yep, it's going to be interesting. They're both muscle-bound freaks. And when I first saw this line, I thought William Knight instantly. After watching tape, I am on Alonzo Menifield. The one thing that sold me on it was actually in William Knight's last fight, which I know he won by knockout like right away against Fabio Cherant, but Fabio Cherant came out swinging. You have to assume Alonzo Menifield probably will too. He's a fast starter.
Yep.
Menifield basically knocks out everyone in the first round, except for his last fight, which he showed some against Ed Herman, which he had Ed Herman hurt really bad, kind of showed that maybe he's learning a little bit. So he slowed it down and ended up winning a decision. But Knight, Cherant came in swinging. Knight's defense wasn't head movement, wasn't footwork. He leaned his head back. That's all he did.
Chin first backwards.
Leaned his head back. And he hit him with a left check hook that happened to knock Cherant out. But I really didn't like the reaction to those punches by Knight. And that was enough for me with someone with the power of Menifield.
Yeah. I think the play here might be under as well.
I was thinking that. And then I was also thinking this is the classic fight that everyone thinks is going to, like, two beefy dudes are going to knock each other the fuck out. And then it's the most boring fight of all time.
I could also see like a Roman Dolidze fucking fight where there's just they're just leaning up against the cage, up against each other, and just trading knees to the quads.
Just two very tired muscle freaks. Just very tired.
If it makes it out of the first round, I think it goes to decision because no one's going to have anything left. They're just going to stand there and just gently paw at each other.
I do think William Knight has a slight cardio advantage over Menifield. Menifield has no gas tank at all.
Yes, 100%.
But the way William Knight reacted to those punches, I'm telling you, with that chin straight up,
not ideal.
I can't let that go.
Yeah.
I can't let it go.
Yeah.
Alonzo Menifield by knockout is the pick.
Yeah.
Sorry, Connecticut.
Yeah, fuck him. All right, moving on. We got Cheyanne Vlismas going up against Mallory Martin. Cheyanne is minus 190. Mallory Martin plus 160. And on DraftKings, Cheyanne is 9K. Mallory Martin is 7,200.
This is a good fight too. I'm all over Cheyanne Vlismas.
Yeah.
Formerly Cheyanne Buys.
Yep.
The only reservations I have is Cheyanne had a lot going on leading up to this fight. She got divorced. One, her name is changed.
No Gould? Is Gould dead?
No Gould.
Cheyanne, please tell me more about your divorce.
So not only did she get divorced in the middle of her camp, she also had to switch gyms because she was training partners with her husband.
Right.
That might not have necessarily been a bad move because she moved to Extreme Couture.
Yeah.
But the divorce has to be a distraction. Also, she got COVID 2 weeks ago. Had to pull out of her fight against Luma Lukbumi. And is already coming back only a few weeks later. Have to think it's just a mild case, but it at least kept her out of the gym for a little bit.
Yeah. It could also mess up her weight cut, too.
It can.
COVID
and
targets the kidneys.
Right. With her style, she's extremely aggressive. Just having had COVID, all these distractions, she may gas out in this fight.
She's got the long fatigue.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, if she wins, she's probably going to have to pay her ex-husband alimony. let's not take that off the table.
Right, because he's not winning the UFC. So
no, he
he's not
sucks.
making any money. But I still think Buys. She's so aggressive. Her wrestling's so good. She's strong, hits hard, and people are all over Mallory Martin. And I get what they're saying, but I just don't see it. She's 7-4. I think Cheyanne Buys is Vlismas is still the play.
Yep, agreed. She got a lot of anger to take out on Mallory Martin.
Right.
All right, moving on. Jake Matthews minus 180 going up against Jeremiah Wells plus 155, and on DraftKings Matthews is 9,100 and Jeremiah Wells is only 7,100. A little bit of that's Jake Matthews seems to be pretty expensive for being an under minus 200 favorite, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm all over Wells.
Same.
Personally. Jake Matthews is a guy who has not beaten anyone good. He was a prospect coming in, kind of trained at a gym that no one knew about with nobodies, but he was a young kid. He's still young, actually. But he fought nobodies. His best win is over Jing Liang, which that is a good win, but it was a long time ago.
Right.
The rest of his wins, I don't think the guys are even in the UFC anymore. He lost to Sean Brady in his last fight. He did rock Sean Brady, which is kind of interesting.
And Sean Brady looked pretty good against Chiesa. He looked very legit.
But Jake Matthews makes living off being well-rounded. He mixes in takedowns with his striking. And against a guy like Jeremiah Wells, he's not going to be able to get those takedowns. Wells is a great wrestler, and he hits really hard. I think Wells puts the lights out on Jake Matthews.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I don't know why he is plus 155 here. That's was my first thought when I saw the line here. I thought they got it completely wrong.
Yeah, people just like Jake Matthews because he's been around.
Right, that's true. Forgot about that aspect of it. And, all right, so getting almost to the end of the prelims, we got Manel Kape, minus 240, going up against Zhalgas Zhumagulov, plus 200. And Zhumagulov is only 6,800 on DraftKings. Manel Kape is 9,400. And I do like Zhumagulov's story. He is an actual fucking goat farmer in Kazakhstan.
That is awesome.
Who just also fights.
I mean, Zhalgas, he's a beast.
He's a beast.
He's been fighting forever. He's fought really good comp, and he has good wins over some good competition, like Tyson Nam, Tagir Ulanbekov. He's beaten some good guys.
Yes.
But the only thing is, they're all really close fights. They could have gone either way. Watching his fights, most of his wins, I actually thought he lost.
Yes.
He's not that... he doesn't have that much output. He hits hard. He's a good wrestler. He kind of reminds me... You know who he reminds me of? Is John Dodson. Except not quite as fast.
Right. Yeah.
Or as small.
His fights... I remember his last fight against Rivera was very boring, but he just kind of does enough to win.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the tale of Zhalgas. That's what he does. And then Manel Kape is like the opposite.
Right.
He has like extreme power for 125.
Yeah.
Likes to throw crazy shit. His last win was a flying knee. And he has so much potential. I just think Kape wins this. I know.
I agree.
There's some value with Zhalgas, and I see that with the number. But if you don't think he's going to win, it's not worth it. So
right.
I don't think he's going to win.
No, I can't justify throwing any money on him. That's for damn sure.
Right.
And moving on, another fighter that we love is Maki Pitolo. Plus 135. There's line movement quite a bit on this one as well. Going up against Dusko Todorovic at minus 160. Maki Pitolo is 7,600 on DraftKings. Dusko is 8,600. What do you think, Kyle?
This is my lock of the night, Maki Pitolo.
Maki fucking Pitolo, yes. Already have him on DraftKings.
He's the lock of the night.
Dusko is not good.
He's not good.
That's it.
And I know you might think the same of Maki because he's 1-4 in the UFC and on a 3-fight losing streak with his only win being over Charles Byrd. I get it. But he has fought good competition. He fought Darren Stewart, Impa Castagne, and Julian Marquez. And he was beating the brakes off Julian Marquez in their last fight.
Yeah.
And he just was tired in the last 50 seconds and just got caught in a sub. Kind of was a weird one. His nickname's Coconut Bombs because he hits really hard. But he's been more of a wrestler. He could slam you to the ground. He's extremely strong. And I see him doing that against Dusko.
Mm-hmm.
Dusko's not the biggest fighter at the weight division either. And I think Maki will have a huge strength advantage and he'll take Dusko down and beat him up. He's just going to give a good old beating to Dusko.
Give him the old coconut bombs.
Like you said, I just don't think Dusko's that good.
Yeah, that's because he's not. That's why you think that.
Right. Yeah. And I think this is a loser leaves town fight. Whoever loses this is cut.
Yeah, I definitely think Maki is going to be fighting for his career because he's 1-4 in the UFC. So, I mean, you got to think it's going to be a little extra pop behind his punches. Gotta let the bombs fly. All right. Moving up the card, this next one there's no line and they are not on DraftKings. Bryan Barberena going up against Darian Weeks. I think when this line comes out, Bryan Barberena is probably going to be over minus 300.
Agreed. It'll probably open up minus 350, get blown up to minus 500 or so.
Yeah.
Darian Weeks was supposed to be on Dana White Contender Series. I believe he got COVID. So he couldn't compete on there. He took a boxing fight in the meantime.
Yeah.
He's 5-0 in mixed martial arts. He lost that boxing fight.
Yeah.
He's an athletic kid, but he has no competition whatsoever. He has no experience, and he's fighting Bryan Barberena, who's a fucking warrior. He's like a killer be killed guy when he's in the ring.
Yep.
Darian Weeks is going to get his ass beat.
100% agreed.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take Bryan Barberena on DraftKings. He's probably going to score 120 plus.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he's not out yet, but when he is out, hammer him, 100%.
Yep.
All right, next up, we have another massive favorite in Brendan Allen, minus 360 going up against Chris Curtis. And on DraftKings, let's see, Allen is 9,600 and Chris Curtis is 6,600.
No respect for Chris Curtis after knocking out Phil Hawes, huh?
Zero respect, apparently.
And I get it. Brendan Allen is a beast.
Yeah.
Brendan Allen's our guy, too. His fight with Kyle Dawkins is one of my favorite fights ever. Those guys were just rolling around, rolling around on the ring. It was reversal after reversal.
Yeah.
It was awesome to watch. Brendan Allen really impressed me in his last fight against Soriano. I was high on Soriano, just like I am Brendan Allen, Brendan Allen's only 25 years old still.
Crazy.
Those body kicks that he was throwing against against Soriano were thudding. He's got stand-up. He's got ground game. He's very well-rounded. And what I see happening is Chris Curtis is going to try the same thing. This is another short-notice fight for Chris Curtis. He's going to try to knock Brendan Allen out in the first round. He's going to eat some body kicks doing that before getting dragged to the mat maybe in the second round and finish with some ground and pound.
Yep. 100%.
That's what I say.
Easy.
I do think, like we were saying earlier, value, I guess, would be Chris Curtis. But
the value is on who's going to win the fight.
Right, exactly. But I get what people are saying when there's the values on Chris Curtis just because it might be a little bit wide, but if he's going to lose, you don't take it. So.
Right, exactly. All right.
Yeah, the gamblers get in their own heads.
Yeah, they sure do. Oh, it's value. All my bets are value, but I'm 0-10.
Right.
You lose money. All right, moving on. This is another banger of a fight. Jimmy Crute is minus 175 going up against Jamahal Hill. The amount of disrespect for Jamahal Hill is astounding.
It is. It is. I love Jamahal Hill.
Yeah.
This is a very hard fight for me because it sucks. It's one of those ones, and we said it on the pod. After we watched Jimmy Crute's fight against Anthony Smith, we said, Jimmy Crute, we're betting him in his next fight.
Right.
Jamahal Hill.
That's
after he
100%.
Lost to Paul Craig, I said, I'm betting Jamahal Hill on his next fight.
And then they come out with this horse shit, and we're like, oh, God damn it. Yeah, it's
right,
two guys who
were
arguably winning before they lost. Jimmy Crute might have won the first. He might have stolen the first round. He was losing on the feet, but
he was getting jabbed. He was eating that jab, Anthony Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, Smith was popping that out, crushing Jimmy Crute with
and
that.
then as soon as Anthony Smith gave him the old dead leg, he just took him down on one leg and then dominated the rest of the round. Yeah. And then these goddamn doctors.
I know. But Jamahal Hill, before that Paul Craig fight.
And what did we say in that fight? Paul Craig's only path to victory was a freaky sub, and what did he get? He got a freaky fucking sub where he dislocated Jamahal Hill's arm.
Yeah. And looking back, Jamahal Hill said he wanted to test his ground game in that fight. Mistake.
Also, big mistake against fucking Paul Craig.
He would have beat Paul Craig if he just didn't follow him to the ground.
Yes, 100%.
When he knocked Paul Craig down, if he just said, get back up.
Right. I'll be over here.
Fight.
Come and get me. Right. Paul Craig will just inch over on his back and.
Yeah, and this is a crazy fight. I was doing a little Instagram stalking. Jimmy Crute is in phenomenal shape. I don't know how he's going to make the weight. He's looking thick.
Yeah.
And I think that may be because he's looking to wrestle here. He's going to be looking to wrestle Jamahal Hill. He knows Jamahal Hill is a beast on the feet. As Jamahal Hill said, I'm the best striker in the UFC. He said that because of Max Holloway, which is hilarious. But we've never really seen Jamahal Hill fight a wrestler.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if Jimmy Crute can get him to the ground. He might be in some trouble. I do think Hill has an advantage on the feet. This is you need both sides in DraftKings.
Yes.
Fight. You need to have one lineup with Jimmy Crute, one with Hill. Betting wise, my instinct was Jamahal Hill, and now I'm questioning myself. I don't know. This is a hard one. Do you have any insight on this one, Scotty?
I lean Jamahal Hill just because they have to start on the feet.
That's true.
He can fucking knock him out. Yeah, this is very hard. I think lock in Jamahal Hill and don't think about it again.
Well, all right, let's lock him in. Screw it. Jamahal Hill. He's in.
Yep. I have him on DraftKings, so I'm very biased. But moving on, this fight I think it's going to be pretty good. A couple of older guys in Clay Guida and Leonardo Santos. Guida is plus 160. Santos is minus 190. And on DraftKings, Guida is 7,400 and Santos is 88.
So this was another one where my initial read was Clay Guida.
Yeah.
After watching the tape, Leonardo Santos is a bad matchup for Clay Guida. It's straight up. If this was 7 years ago, Leonardo Santos picks apart Clay Guida.
Yeah.
For an easy win. Leonardo Santos' wrestling is probably better than Clay Guida's. His striking's definitely better than Clay Guida's.
The only thing that's not better, I think, is the gas tank.
The gas tank might not be.
Clay Guida's still at, how old is he? 39?
39.
Still has.
And Santos is 41.
Yeah. Guida still has the gas tank of 23-year-old Clay Guida.
Oh, yeah. But it's just a bad matchup for Guida.
I agree. Santos should win.
I do think that Guida has increased his power. His shots look like they have more power now.
Yeah.
That he's a little bit older. He's got some man strength, I guess. That fishing strength.
Yeah.
All that fishing.
Pulling in those lines.
Right. But Leonardo Santos scares me because we were talking about life-changing beatings, and against Cousin Grant, he got knocked out and just not TKO'd. He was knocked out cold.
Yeah.
With some brutal ground and pound. And that was last March. He's now coming back against Clay Guida, who I just said has increased power. Is that chin at 41 coming off a knockout compromised?
Probably.
It's enough for me to stay away.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bet this fight.
100% agree. There's plenty of other fights on the card.
Oh, yeah.
Twist my arm. I think the over is the right play.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I actually really like the over.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the co-main. We got Rafael Fiziev minus 125 going up against Brad Riddell at plus 105. And on DraftKings, Fiziev is 8,300 and Riddell is 79.
This is a great fight.
This is another absolute bang. Dana White feels bad about the last card, so he's like, all right, let me make up for it.
Yeah, this is a great fight, and it's between two guys who used to be training partners.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think that Rafael Fiziev used to get the better of Brad Riddell. And that's just based on Brad Riddell's recent comments saying you can't rely on some shit from 4 years ago. So that makes me think maybe he used to get beat up a little bit by Fiziev in the gym.
Can't wedgie me in the ring.
Right. But I do like Brad Riddell's wins more than I like Fiziev's wins. Beating Drew Dober, Drew Dober is a monster.
Yep.
He beat Magomed Mustafayev, monster.
Yes.
Where Rafael Fiziev's last win was against Bobby Green, who
sucks.
is okay. He beat Renato Moicano, who's good, no chin,
Right.
and how to get beat. He got knocked out.
Yep.
And he beat Mark Diakese, not very good either.
No. Diakese he looked really good in the start of his career, and we were pretty high on him, and then his last couple of fights have not been good.
But they're both strikers. I'd say Brad Riddell's probably a little bit better wrestler. But they both looked so good. It's really hard to say. I think Brad Riddell's a striking coach. I think they're both striking coaches. This is a good fight.
Yeah.
Rafael Fiziev has a bigger head. Do we just go with the bigger head? Bigger head wins. Bigger head, bigger chin.
Bigger heads are harder to knock out.
Bigger head, bigger chin.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Do you have a read on this one, Scott?
Flipped a coin. Going with Fiziev. Big heads.
Yeah.
Big heads win fights.
Big head, bigger hat.
Yep. True. Very true. All right, moving on to the main event. We got Rob Font minus 140 going up against the highly disrespected Jose Aldo at plus 120. Rob Font is 8,400 on DraftKings, and Jose Aldo is only 7,800.
The disrespect on Jose Aldo. I mean, come on.
Everyone just keeps replaying the Conor McGregor knockout. And they're like, see, this guy sucks.
Right.
That's just the only fight they've ever seen of his.
Right. Meanwhile, he's only fought and lost to Peter Yan, Marlon Moraes, which he won that fight. If you watch that back,
Yeah.
he did not lose to Marlon Moraes. Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Conor McGregor are his losses.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The guy is a beast. He just at his age, he beat Marlon Vera and Pedro Munoz. Rob Font has a win over Cody Garbrandt in his last fight.
Yep.
He beat Marlon Moraes, Ricky Simone. That was a good win. But he doesn't have the names that Aldo has. He hasn't gone through the ringer like Aldo has. I think Aldo's the better wrestler. He's a much better jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Yep.
And he's probably the better striker. I mean, it's Jose Aldo.
Yeah. What the hell?
People are sleeping. Oh, Rob Font's a good boxer. Jose Aldo is a monster.
Yes.
Remember Uriah Faber's leg? The most gruesome looking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Those leg kicks are fucking second to none.
I hope he gets those going against Rob Font. But more realistically, if you watch Aldo's more recent fights, he's been fighting smart.
Yeah. 100%.
Especially against Pedro Munoz. His last fight, he just backpacked him.
Yep.
just the old backpack. He did that against Marlon Vera, too.
Backpacks win fights.
Yeah. I mean, he could easily do that to Rob Font. I think Jose Aldo wins. I think it goes to decision. I think that might be the real play here is the over.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Did you make a DraftKings lineup?
I did.
All right.
Let me pull that up here.
Yeah, I'll do mine first. Going from most to least expensive, I have a lot of dogs on here, and I have $500 remaining. But going from most to least expensive, I got Alex Morono, 9,500, Manel Kape at 94. I did end up going with Chris Groteschmacher at 8,200 because I think that is the trap of the night. I did end up taking Maki Pitolo at 7,600, Jamahal Hill at 7K, and also Jose Aldo at 7,800. I think those extra 2 rounds for Aldo get him some more points. Obviously, lots of leg kicks, lots of jabs, probably a couple of takedowns as well.
Right, control time.
Control time.
If he backpacks him, that's control time.
That's control time.
I have a similar team where you have to keep in mind Bryan Barberena is not in the player pool yet.
Right.
Because I will be having some ownership with him. But I have Brendan Allen started out. I have next most expensive. I went with Vlismas. Cheyanne buys.
Yep.
Alonzo Menifield.
Yep.
Maki Pitolo. Jamal Hill and Jeremiah Wells to round out the team. That leaves $1,000 on the table.
I do like Jamal Wells. Damn it.
There's a lot you can do.
There's a lot you can do.
Messing around.
Yeah.
I put together a team that has 5,400 remaining, and it could easily all hit.
Oh my god.
It's Clay Guida, Jamal Hill, William Knight, Maki Pitolo, Claudio Puelles, and Jeremiah Wells.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance that all these fighters win.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is going to be a big-time dog card.
This one is... All these fights are tight.
Yeah.
Dogs are barking.
Dogs are going to bark.
We'll have some good bets for you guys.
Yep. Stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed to the email list to get the fight picks out before the card starts. I know on Twitter we usually tweet them out like right as the card gets rolling. So make sure you're subscribed for that, and then you get the fight notes as well. And what else do they get, Kyle?
They'll get the fight notes. They'll have our DraftKings breakdown, and they'll have our full betting card.
Yes, all of those. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right. See you.